Okay, let's just get right into it. What are we actually supposed to eat? I mean, it seems like a simple question, but it has become so complicated. We're getting hit from all sides with advice about fats, carbs, vitamins, and honestly, it seems like we're more confused than ever. So today, we're going to dig into Michael Pollan's take on this whole mess and uncover his refreshingly simple answer.
So this right here, this is the central mystery. It's what author Michael Pollan calls the American paradox. Just think about it. We spend a fortune on health foods, on diets, on supplements. We worry about it constantly. And yet, we're sicker than ever from diseases that are directly linked to what we eat. How can both of those things possibly be true at the same time? I mean, just look at the numbers. On the one hand, we're absolutely drowning in diet advice. On the other, diseases like heart disease and diabetes are just exploding. This is the core problem we have to wrap our heads around. Our national obsession with nutrition isn't making us healthier. In fact, it might be making us sicker. So how on earth did we get here? Well, the first big clue points to this one, really powerful, but as it turns out, kind of flawed idea that has totally changed how we even think about what's on our plates. It's this ideology called nutritionism. And the basic idea is that the food itself, the apple or the steak, isn't what really matters. What matters are the invisible things inside it, the vitamins, the proteins, the fats. So you stop thinking about eating a carrot and you start thinking about consuming beta-carotene. The food just becomes a delivery system for its chemical parts.
And this way of thinking comes with a whole bunch of assumptions we never really questioned. It basically created this weird new religion of food. You've got your high priests, the scientists, nutritionists, who are the only ones who can tell us what to eat. And you have your saints and sinners, right? One year, omega-3s are the heroes, and saturated fat is the villain, and the next year, it all flips. This chart just nails the shift perfectly. Before, we saw a carrot. Simple, right? Now, looking through the lens of nutritionism, we see this complex chemistry experiment. We see beta-carotene, fiber, and a bunch of other compounds. We basically traded the simple reality of food for a complicated science problem. So how did this scientific way of thinking completely take over? Well, it wasn't just one thing. It was this perfect storm of this new ideology combined with some big moves from the food industry and even the government that created all this confusion we're living in now. And here's the thing. Pollan argues this complexity wasn't some accident. He says that widespread confusion is actually good for business. The food industry gets to sell us new, scientifically improved products. Nutrition scientists have an endless supply of nutrients to study. And hey, journalism always has a dramatic new diet headline to run.
And here's a key moment where it all changed. In 1977, a Senate committee gave some really simple advice. Hey, Americans, you should probably eat less meat. Well, the meat industry was not happy about that, and they pushed back hard. So the advice got reworded. Instead of talking about a food, meat, they started talking about a nutrient, saturated fat. And that one small change opened the floodgates to decades of confusing back-and-forth advice.
And here's the result of all that expert advice. Just look at this chart. The exact period where we were being told precisely which nutrients to eat and which to avoid is the same period our obesity rates just went through the roof. It kind of seems like all this specific advice made us sicker and fatter. You can bet the food industry loved this shift. It was a green light for them to engineer thousands of new products. They could take some processed ingredients, add some fiber, take out some fat, slap a health claim on the box, and suddenly, real food on the supermarket shelves was getting replaced by these edible food-like substances. So while we've all been playing this game of nutritional whack-a-mole, demonizing fat one decade, then switching to carbs the next, we've been totally distracted from the real problem, the elephant in the room. Okay, so if it's not the fat, and it's not the carbs, then what is the real cause of all these diet-related diseases? What's the real enemy here? Well, the answer isn't a single villain nutrient. It's the whole shebang. It's the entire pattern of eating that Pollan just calls the Western diet. And what does that mean exactly? Well, you know it when you see it. It's tons of processed foods, tons of added sugar and refined grains, lots of meat, and just not nearly enough vegetables, fruits, or whole grains. It's a way of eating that is, frankly, completely new to our species. Our bodies have never seen anything like it. The difference between this and traditional diets is just night and day. And here's the smoking gun. It doesn't matter where you are in the world. When the Western diet shows up and it's being pushed by global food companies, the same predictable set of diseases like obesity and type 2 diabetes follows right behind it. It's like a package deal.
Okay, so that all sounds pretty bad. But here's the good news. Escaping this trap does not mean you need another complicated diet from another expert. According to Pollan, the way out is actually a return to some beautiful, profound simplicity.
He boils down everything we've been talking about to these 7 simple words. That's it. This is his manifesto. And it's not a set of rigid rules, it's more like a compass to guide us back to a healthier and honestly a more enjoyable way of eating.
Now, let's break that down. Eat food. I know, it sounds almost ridiculously simple, but what he really means is eat real food. Choose the apple over the apple-flavored cereal bar. Pick things that came from nature, not things that were invented in a corporate lab. And here is a brilliant little hack to help you do that. Pollan's rule of thumb is this: the more health claims you see on a package, the less healthy the food inside probably is. I mean, think about it. The produce aisle is pretty quiet. You never see a bunch of broccoli screaming about how it's low cholesterol. It's the processed stuff that has to shout about how good it is for you. And the last 2 bits are just as critical. Not too much is just a simple reminder to practice moderation and to actually listen to your body's signals. And mostly plants tells us what the star of the plate should be, maybe treating meat more as a side dish instead of the main event every single time. So at the end of the day, getting out of this mess doesn't require some new scientific discovery. It's really about reclaiming something we've lost. It's about trusting the common sense wisdom about food that our cultures and our families have passed down for generations, before we let the experts convince us we didn't know anything. And that kind of leaves us with a final thought to chew on. In this super anxious quest for health through nutrients, we've kind of forgotten about pleasure, about community, about culture, all the things that make eating one of life's great joys. Maybe the healthiest thing we can possibly do is just bring all of that back to the table.